Hello everyone, welcome to my sketchbook session. I tried to start this live earlier, but it didn't quite work out, but here we are, we're all ready and set. Let me just adjust you slightly so that you can see a bit more of my desk and of my sketchbook. If you can see everything clearly, please let me know in the chat and let me know if you can hear me clearly as well. That would be much appreciated. Since this is the first time that I am streaming on YouTube, there might be a few little issues that I might have to iron out, but hopefully this will go well and slightly better than the last time I tried to do this. Oh great, hi April, you can hear everything, that's amazing. What we will do is, I've already started this on the previous live, I've just done the slide outlines, but we will now continue with my current setup. I tried to schedule live, didn't quite work out. Anyway, so let's get started. I'm starting with a polychromos pencil. These are the dogs that I drew yesterday with gouache. I needed them to dry so that I can do details on top. I would be happy for your suggestions for accessories to put on them, but I'm mostly going to do Christmas stuff because I thought I could turn them into cards or little prints or something like that. I don't have to, but I might do that. Now let's continue with this lovely lady here. I'm just going to make her eye a little bigger, and she's going to be a little sad pupper. So I'm just going to put a few little eyebrows like that. Do her front, nose, add some more. I also apologize for any noise in the background because my dog is wandering around. A wizard's hat, that's a good idea. A wizard's hat. Yeah, I could do that. So let me actually just write them down here at the bottom with regular pencil. Wizard's hat. That could be quite fun. I might do like a Fantasia type blue hat with stars. That could be fun. Okay, so we've got that. I'm just going to use this brown pencil and do whatever details I can think of. This one would be good with a Rudolph nose, don't you think? The little ducky. Let's put a little smile on there. The eye. They don't have very fluffy ears, so let's do just a ear like that. Straight down. I haven't put any collars or anything on any of them. A few little toes. I feel like I should have put toe beans on some of them. There we are. Around the back, a few little feathers on the leg there. If any of you have dogs, let me know. Or if you're watching this after the live has ended, let me know if you have a dog. And also I think I've put a poll up saying dogs or cats. What kind of person are you? Are you a dog person? Are you a cat person? So there we have another fluffy ear, a very fluffy head. This one is based on a spaniel I saw on our walk the other day. He had such a fluffy head, it was so cute. There, fluffy ears, looking keen. I will add a few highlights in the eye later on because that just makes them look a bit more, well, alive, to be honest. Some more fluff on the legs. More fluff on the belly. How did I do the poll? There's a little plus button underneath the chat window, April. I just clicked on that and it says interact with your audience, and then I added the poll there. I just like kind of fiddled about with all the options. Clearly it didn't work out the first time, but here we are. A little more fluff. A leg there. I haven't added the second leg because presumably it's hidden behind here somewhere. And then I think I need to change brown for that lad there. Let's take this one. This is a Caran d'Ache Pablo pencil. I hope this is focusing correctly. It's a bit high for me to see. Anyway, so yeah, so another nose. Loads of fluff on the face here. These ones are all based off my own dog. If you've watched some of my vlogs, then you will know that Sam is exceedingly fluffy. More fluff there. Fluffy paws. Fluff, 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 more fluff. More and more and more fluff. What are you drawing tomorrow on your stream, April? There we have that. And then I think I'm going to go a little bit darker with a Posca pencil. This is just black for these fellas. I'm just going to add the details, a nose, and an eye, paws. Oh, birds. Birds would be nice, or maybe animals would be great as well. I love your cute animals. Okay, there we are. And the last one. I put this guy's paw up, but I'm not quite sure what he's begging for. Not quite sure what accessories I'll use for him. I say him, but they could all be girls as well. I have the male bias because I have a male dog, so. There we are. Very fluffy tail. And the legs. This guy, I will actually use white details for him. More fluff. Add more fluff for this one. And little toes. Might add a little mouth for this. There we are. I am going to preemptively add a little bit of shadow for some of them, just so I can ground them and see where I'm going to go from there. There we are. Underneath, this is again a Posca pencil. They all have numbers. This is a number 37. The box did have color names on it, but I can't really remember them while I'm drawing. I have got a Posca video in the works, so hopefully that'll come out and then you can see what all the names are. I hope this is on screen. Yeah, there we go. Just a bit of shadow underneath. This one is just sitting down, so not too much. There we are. Around the bottom. These are really nice, actually creamy colors. It blends really nicely as well when I'm putting down such a light coat of it. There we are. Just adds a little bit of dimension to them. Okay, now let's do this lad. I'm going to use a white sunlight grays. So I've got here a Derwent drawing, a Pablo Caran d'Ache, and a Uni Posca. I'm going to start with the grey. In fact, I'm just going to do a little highlight on the nose to start with, and then grey highlight for all the details. Here we are. Because that's the thing with a black dog. We used to have a black Cocker Spaniel, and we could never photograph him because you'd only see all the highlights on him. He was so dark black. So we always just did photographs in really bright light and never indoors, because all you would see was a black blob. There we are. So we have some details on him. Yeah, April, you do need to use them because they're really, really nice. They give you a great feel. Okay, now I think I'm going to use some gouache and add, should we do a scarf on him? Let's do a big scarf, and then I'll figure out who to do the wizard's hat on. Let's do a scarf there. Probably going to do white stripes on it, but I'm just going to do the red first. A big scarf. Let's do that. So it's sort of blowing behind him. This is a, I I actually don't know what it is. It's so old that the stuff has worn off of it. But the end tip looks like it's a Pro Art brush. There we are. And where shall the other half go? Maybe around like that. There we are. It's a little bit hard to talk while drawing. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, just let me know. But yeah, so we've got that scarf there and let it dry. What shall we do with him? Who shall we do the wizard's hat on? That would be... Actually, maybe she could be looking at a wizard's hat. That would be quite fun. So let's do a nice indigo. So let's put the color down there. Yeah, I like that. Let's do... Might just draw it a little bit before I... This is a non-photo blue pencil, so when I scan things in, it won't scan in. So there's a wizard's hat. And I'm going to leave it slightly off the ground, so that's why she's staring at it, because it's kind of floating. April says it's harder to type while DRSING. Drawing? Are you drawing? Drawing? Dressing? There we are. I might use a little bit of ultramarine blue here. That's what it looks like. To add a bit of variation. Like so. And maybe a little lighter around here. Oh yeah, I think that works. And a bit lighter up there. Just for a bit of highlight. Drawing for work. Yeah. It is very hard to draw while talking. It's kind of like keeping multiple things in your head and you're just wondering what to do first. Let's add those little motion bits like that. It could actually be like both of them are kind of looking at it, doesn't it? Yeah, so okay, so we've got that, let that dry. And then I feel like she ought to have a little star hanging down from her neck. Just because I'm going to put stars on the wizard's hat. So let's do that. So she's got a little collar there with a star hanging off. Lift that so you can see. Oh, glad you like the hat. Lift that so you can see a bit better. Hopefully it focused. And then this guy looks a bit grumpy, doesn't he? I feel like this one should probably have a Santa hat. Let's do a red Santa hat. Oop, that's a bit too watery there. Too much water in my gouache. That's a bit better. I do want it to dry fairly quickly so that I can add details on top later. And then let's do the outline of the hat. A little hat like that, do you think? With like a big pom-pom on the end maybe? Yeah, I think that sounds nice. And then big white furry thing. Yeah, that should be nice. Let's do that. Round like so. And like so. Might do little polka dots on the hat after as well. Bit bigger. And then let's add slightly pinky white details for the hat. Because the paper is white, I want it to show up a little bit. So I'm just going to have to add a little bit of pink. Let's put that down here. So yeah, that looks good with the hat. Let's do, and then obviously I've got to add a few details and let the red run into it there, and add a few details with pencil, so that this kind of looks hilarious, doesn't it? I'm going to add a few details with pencil so that it doesn't look quite so bland. Needs a bit more white. And needs a bit more dry brush. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that slightly. There we go. And I'm gonna let that dry and then do some more details after that. And I feel like we need maybe a bauble or two down here. Let's do a couple of round baubles. Leave a little bit of highlight. Just trying to make this page as kind of Christmassy as possible. Another bigger one. Might even turn them into tags for my Christmas presents this year. I don't know if you saw my Christmas videos last year. There was, I think, a gift guide and how I make my gift wrap. I am going to make gift wrap again this year, probably not the same designs, but that's one of my favorite things to do around this time of year. Takes a whole day. It's not too early for Christmas. Christmas is the only thing to look forward to at this time of year. And also I'm doing Christmas markets from the 4th of December, so I have to get started now in order to have things ready. So yeah, we put our Christmas lights up at Diwali, which is in mid-October. We don't turn them on until like the 1st of December. But yeah, we're all prepped and ready to go. And then after Christmas, the only thing to look forward to is, well, spring. But before that, we have an anniversary. My husband and I have a wedding anniversary in February, so we look forward to that. But yeah, other than that, there's really nothing to look forward to, is there? Maybe he should have a big tartan bow. Massive red bow. I want to keep his details there and have massive velvet bow. I will put tartan details, I think, on it. There we are. December 20th, that's when you get excited. Well, the thing is, we don't really celebrate Christmas. We just like the lights and the fun and the Christmas the Christmas festivities and all the markets, and that's what I get excited for. Because in the depths of winter, what else is there anyway? And we do presents mainly for my niece. We actually never did Christmas before my niece turned up. There we are. Massive bow. This is a grumpy looking dog. Very grumpy looking dog. Not quite sure what to do with him. I think he would look good with snowflakes. So maybe pale blue around him would be nice. This is a nice blue, I think. Yeah, that looks nice. I'm just generally putting these swatches at the bottom so that I can remember what colors I used later on. Monkey Mintaka says, April says, maybe December 29th this year as I'm working up to Christmas Eve, and then that night Martin's parents come for 4 days. Yeah, I guess so. It's well, if you're working, it doesn't really, you don't really have time to do that much, do you? So let's add, I might change my brush actually. I'm going to use my favorite angle shader, Persistent 3 by Dalaroni. And I'm not going to wet it beforehand so I get nice brush texture. I'm just going to swoosh it in there so that I keep the texture of the dog's fur. And then get a nice rough edge. Rough, 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 coincidentally. Yeah. And like that. The wet bits in the middle. And I can always go over the black again to make it a little bit darker if I miss anything. I actually am going to end up painting over the shadow that I did, but that's okay because it'll still show through somewhat and I can darken it later as well. So here we have slightly dry brush effect. The lovely thing about gouache is that you can paint over, unlike watercolors. I think that's probably why I never really got on with watercolors so much, because it's a bit difficult to correct mistakes. I do like it though. I do use it in combination with gouache as well. So yeah, here we are. Nicely touching up the insides. I don't want it to be patchy. And it'll dry nice and flat anyway. Just using my hand to kind of blend it out a little bit. Okay, let's let that dry. I should be able to put the pupper details over the top in black anyway. Oh, I think I used sepia for this, not black. Yeah, I used sepia. See, that's why I've got these at the bottom, so then I can compare and see what color I did actually use. So let's add the details over the top, so that by the time that's dry, then we can do some more over. There we go. Dab, 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 dab. Dabbing away little butt hairs. There we are. Let's add some more fluff up the top. There we go. Now, what's next? What shall we do next? We shall add, I don't think those are dry yet, but I can add the little topper so that that can dry. A little loop. And another little loop there. I feel like I need little stars here. Kind of like to add groups of 3 because they always look a bit better than, odd numbers tend to look a bit better than just even numbers. Do you always feel that? Somehow that seems to work for me. So that guy's looking at the stars. I feel like he needs a little color as well, so maybe a nice emerald green color. Or a little kerchief, I think that's nice. A little kerchief around his neck. There we are. Odd all the way, yeah. Let's add a little fluff. There we go. What should he be begging for? Shall I put a biscuit down in front of him, maybe? And then he can be begging for a biscuit. Let's put a little gingerbread man. Oh, let's put a gingerbread man in front of him. Let's move that a bit over. And here. So there's a little gingerbread man. What does a gingerbread man look like? Body and arms and legs. So he's begging for the gingerbread man. Why are they always gingerbread men? Aren't they ever gingerbread women? Let's put a detail there. This one, you know, I have a Christmas card that I made with lights. I feel like I want to put lights around him. So let's do that. Let's have, ooh, let me get this out of the way a little bit because it is kind of covering my palette. Move that over. Let's have some, okay, so I need a thinner brush. This is Daler-Rowney again, #1 liner. It's one of my all-time favorite brushes because it's amazing. Okay, so let's say that he has some lights in his mouth, and we'll put one bulb over there, and then they're coming out around him like so, and then around through his legs, out, around his tail. Shall we do them like that? Yeah, let's do that. So they're light at either end. And then I need some yellow for the little light bulbs. And then I will have to, I think I'll have to highlight them slightly with white because they're not going to really show on top of the fur. There we are. Another light, another light. Little bulbs of fairy lights. Actually, let's add that down here so I know I used yellow. Bulbs, bulbs. There we are. More bulbs. Better not go over her tail so I can keep her a bit separate, otherwise I'll have to do some fiddling about on Procreate, and that's very annoying. And there we are. Does anybody else have any suggestions? I think the hat is dry now, so I should be able to put some little yellow stars on top. Let's see if I can do that. Wet my palette again with my handy dandy little spray bottle. How many stars shall we add? Shall we add some big ones? Oop, too wet. It's mixing with the blue a little bit, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to go over it with some pencil. And there we go. Maybe a few dots around the edge, just for interest. Like so. Oh, tinsel. That's a good idea. Tinsel. Oh, I haven't really left anybody for tinsel, have I? Yeah, I could have done tinsel. Oh well. I think I did one with tinsel on my iPad. Okay, so let's do a little bit of snow on this fella, shall we? I'm actually just going to get some paper and cover these guys up because I'm going to do a little spray action here. Excuse me while I get some paper. There we go. And let's just do some little dabby-dobby dot dots. Ran out of white there. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll kind of add to that a little bit when and maybe get rid of some, like that one's a bit big, isn't it? So we might get rid of that and do a few more details once that's done. What I'm going to do is give him a turquoise blue eye while we're at it. Blue eye. And what else can we do? Let's add that down here to my color palette. Okay. So I think we have a fair amount of detail here. I'm going to add a few details in yellow to this dog. I'm not sure if you can see on camera, but it's just adding a bit of lightness to the entire dog and a bit of texture as well. So there we are. And this dog needs a little bit more brown, I think. So I'm just adding a few dashes and dots here and there, because this is a short-haired dachshund. There we go. And let's then add the details to his scarf as well. Shall we just use this pen? This is a hybrid gel grip pen from Pentel. And it does quite a good job of adding details. So let's do the little highlight in his eye and on his nose. Actually, I might give him a Rudolph nose. That would be cute, I think. What do you think, April? Should I give him a Rudolph nose? And let's have this grow across this way. And have this go across that way. That's cute. Okay, yes, so I will do that. Rudolph nose. Let's do a nice bright red. This is again a Posca pencil number 16. So let's do a little Rudolph nose. And then because Rudolph's nose shines, we're going to do a little detail around it. Don't know if you can see that. So let's do a little shiny nose. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to that as well. It's like a beacon, isn't it? I feel like that one's come out a bit cute. Okay, where were we next? Okay, so we need to add a few scumbly details to that. Let's add a few red details. And then I'm going to add some white over the top. Where's my pen gone? Oops, there we go. Right in front of me. Okay, so let's add, oops, need to rub that around again. Fluffy hat details. And around the back here, I'm going to add little polka dots, teeny tiny polka dots on the hat as well, just to make it a little bit more interesting than plain red, and space out the polka dots as we come up to the head. There we go. Bye, April. Thank you so much. I will probably do more live streams now that I have got started on this. I suppose at some point I'll figure out how to kind of put my face on the screen as well. But for now, I think this is a good start. So yeah, I'm actually almost done because I've got a few details left to add, and then we're kind of done. So I'm gonna add some dough and pencil details of snow here. Yeah, so we're gonna squish that bit a bit because it was a bit too big there. But yeah, I'm gonna add some nice details on the back, lighter details so that the snow doesn't take over. Add some bits in the bottom as though he's standing in the snow. And yeah. Should he have some mistletoe in his mouth? I think that would be cute. Let's do some mistletoe. So we need some, that's a nice green. There we are. There we go. Just concentrating a little bit here. There we are. And add a few berries on top once that's dry. And I'm going to add a little bit of detail in his eye. Shiny eyes. Everybody needs shiny eyes so that they look quite cheeky. He looks definitely a little bit ticked off, doesn't he? Eyes up top. Apologies if you can hear my husband in the background. Eyes there.
It's not, no, leave.
The dog is being a bit obstreperous. My husband is just dealing with him. There we go. And a bit of nose detail as well. Always a little bit of highlight on the nose. And we've got the stars. Just wanted a little bit of detail of white around the edges. And a few dots to go with the polka dots like theme. There we are. A few little details on this fella to make it a little bit more obvious. Mistletoe has white berries, doesn't it? It doesn't have red berries, yeah. Mistletoe right there. And just tail detail. And there we are. And then this ribbon needs definitely more detail. So what I'm going to do is add some darker bits to the inside of the ribbon there. And here where it's tied up and along the edges. And I did that with brown, so let's just add that there. And then we need to add more details to the gingerbread man, which I'm going to do with my pen. And hopefully, he's dry. Yes, he is. So eyes, oops, little eyes and a mouth, and 3 little buttons, and some decoration as they always have. So yeah, a few bits of white detail on this dog here. I feel like he should have a collar too, shouldn't he? So let's add maybe a, well, I've done mostly generic looking dogs, so let's add obviously pink, non-Christmassy color there. And maybe I'll put a, not green, maybe I'll put a blue to go with that. So blue stripes. Well, blue marbles is the kind of effect I'm going for, really. There we go. And I'm gonna, once it's dried, I will put more detail over the top of that. Now let's add a little bit of white to those lights on this thing that the dog is destroying. So you can actually see them. On here. And here. And up there. And then this fella might do well with a little coat, don't you think? Or it might be a little too much. Maybe we'll just leave that there. But what I'm going to do is add a little bit of detail with maybe, yeah, a purple pencil would be nice, to the bubbles. Add a bit of shadow, a bit of dimension. There we are. And then I think I'm going to add some detail to the star here. Apologies for the noise I'm just going to make. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. So we have a sharp tip, star right there, and a little bit of highlight. And then I'm going to add some lighter details, pencil again, onto this guy here. So that we can actually see some of his fur. I'm just going to make him extra furry and hairy. There we are. And then I'm going to add a little bit of yellow so that he looks like there is some of the starlight coming down on him there. So a little bit of glimmer. Just the front bit there. And the tip of his tail. And his ears here. So yeah, adding that. And then yeah, maybe some details. Oops, that's not dark enough. Let's use black or indigo maybe. Yeah, that's dark enough. Just add detail, detail, detail. we go. And a bit of white. And this guy needs a little bit of white as well, just for some extra detail for his fur. And his ears to stand out a little bit. There we are. Very furry dog. And for him as well, I might add a few more darker details for him as well. There we are. There we go. Now, what else shall we add? It's my nice furry warm jumper. And what else? What else shall I do? I think we might be done. Wait, I forgot to do the tartan on his so yes, another sharp pencil, straight lines and checks. It's not proper tartan, but I don't think I can fit it in here in the space available. Let's do that. Some curved lines to show the bow. And I think maybe we can get some white in there as well. Let's do that, sharpen. Yep, there we go. Yep. That's very similar to kind of the bow that we've got our dog for. Oh, well, his trainer has a Christmas party. So yeah, we will be attending our dog's Christmas party, which is kind of hilarious, isn't it? But yeah, apparently that's what we do now. So we have surprised looking doggy with the nose and the massive bow. Add some detail. I know I go on and on about detail, but that's kind of what makes it really pop. There we are. Bit more. Yeah, and I think we're really close to being done actually. Let me see. Yeah, more detail here. And then I think I can always add sort of more detail later on when I'm scanning it in, if I need to add a bit more contrast here and there. And when I scan it in, it always goes a little bit wonky in the scanner in any case. Oh wait, I've totally forgotten those guys. I feel like I need to add orange here, maybe. Yeah, that's a nice color for the lights. Yeah. If you're watching this after the fact, do leave a comment and let me know what you thought and more ideas, because I will constantly be drawing animals and dogs and food as well, like the little gingerbread man. I'm constantly looking for good ideas to do things. So there's that. And let's have the little glow around each light. And the little glow reflecting off of him. This is a Caran d'Ache Pablo. It works really, really nicely on top of gouache. looks kind of cute. I'm going to add a little bit of white as well to make it a little bit more obvious on his fur. Or her fur. I mean, if you have a female dog, you probably say her all the time. There we are. Eyes. And more detail, detail, detail all the time. And the eye highlights. Oops, this didn't work. And the nose highlights. Yeah, and there we are. We have a Christmassy scene of dogs. Dogs everywhere, all the time, forever. More fluff on this fella. I really hope it snows in London this year. It'll be really, really fun if it does. It's getting so cold lately, it probably will. I hope so in any case. Okay, so I'm just going to add a bit more darkness to this pupper. And I think we're almost done. Just a bit more to this gingy man. And voila. Maybe some stripes on, or dots on his, stripes on his collar. This pencil always stops working after a while. But yeah, I think we're done. Thank you so much for keeping me company while I made these lovely dogs. This is my first live stream, so I'm sure there were some issues, and I did have some technical difficulties in the beginning with starting the stream and so on. But I hope you enjoyed it, and please leave a comment and let me know if you'd like me to do more live streams and what you would like me to do while I'm live streaming, whether you'd like a sketchbook page or a full painting from start to finish, or what you would like. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Goodbye.